What if the world suddenly stopped spinning for 24 hours? Not gradually, but instantaneously. Time, space, and the laws of nature would vanish, and after 24 hours, everything would restart. But could we really return to life? Imagine a whole day in absolute silence and darkness. The entire planet would be plunged into gloom, the sun would disappear, and night without end would cover the Earth. But that's just the beginning. Inside the Earth, immense forces are building up. All land that moves in its constant rhythm would suddenly freeze. Then, terrible disasters would begin. Earthquakes, volcano eruptions, tsunamis. Magma, normally stable underground, would instantly boil over, spreading lava across the entire planet. All of this would be an overwhelming blow to Earth's internal structure, leading to catastrophic consequences. Rocks crack, the crust explodes, and deadly destruction erupts across the surface. And what about the atmosphere? Powerful winds would surge, and suddenly, Earth would stop spinning. But the atmosphere would still be moving like before, with the same rotational speed. As a result, the atmosphere would remain stationary, and air currents would accelerate at an incredible pace. Hurricanes and storms would rage across the globe. Cities would collapse, oceans would rise high, and debris clouds would fill the sky. When the planet suddenly stops, climatic chain reactions would start tearing everything apart. Without rotation, atmospheric pressure would change instantly, and chaos would reign. Winds would blow with terrifying force. Trees would snap, buildings would fall, ships would disintegrate. The planet would teeter on the brink of catastrophe, trembling from internal tension. Immediately, the day-night cycle would cease. The entire Earth would be plunged into total darkness. No lights, no signals. Cities, homes, streets, all turned into ruins. Systems that supported life would grind to a halt. What happens to humans? Most would simply stand in shock, watching their destruction, cut off from all signals and communications. Panic would spread because all familiar life support systems, water, heating, transportation, would instantly fail. The electrical grid would vanish within moments, shutting down everything from ventilation and heating to computers and communication networks. In the first hours, the world would just stand still. But then the most terrible things would start. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, explosions. Seismic waves would tear the ground apart, creating fractures and destruction across the planet. Volcanoes would spew lava and ash, transforming the landscape into chaos. The internal tension would lead to even greater devastation. Even with hopes of rescue, deep inside the Earth, energies are building up. But the pressure is growing, and the planet can't hold it much longer. All systems, pressure regulators, and mechanisms would break down. The magma chamber roars, Earth's magnetic field begins to falter, causing even more chaos. What about the air? Winds, initially fierce, would swell to unimaginable strengths. Cyclones and hurricanes would rage across the entire globe, destroying everything left standing. Mountains would crack, oceans swell and flood coastlines, and storms would shatter the strongest structures. Within hours, total chaos would reign. Streets, cities, everything in ruins. Debris, bodies, shattered buildings. Chaos across the entire globe. The world would be unrecognizable, utterly devastated, as the planet screams and trembles under the weight of its own collapse.